So tell me about the guys in Texas. Or are you saying
so like there are all these guys in Texas that there's a big Kirov operation over there in Dallas.
Right.
Their wives had become religious, and they were kind of dragged along. And at a certain point, they're like, okay, they're getting too nuts for us. We'll go to shul, but we're going for the booze. And I had a couple of people come up to me like, I really love your stuff. Like, I really relate to this.
Right.
Because, I'm being dragged into it, It's a ball and chain teshuva, they called it. So I found that kind of
So how do you like California?
It's interesting. It's the Bay Area is not California. I don't know what happened there, but they're just California to me was like these half-naked blonde girls and the surfer guys saying words like, dude, that's grody, yo, and so Northern California is like Brooklyn with mountains. That's really what it is to me. It's like this very progressive and hipster kind of, everyone's eating their tofu burgers and drinking, tall Americanos, and, everyone's on Twitter all day long. It's very technological, and everyone's very, everyone's like 20 years ahead of everyone in terms of technology, but it's much different than I expected. There's no like, it's not like the rest of the West. Mm-hmm. Even LA is a little different than it because people there are really, they're not really nice, and they're not very friendly at all.
Where?
In the Bay Area.
Right.
They're not, I mean, maybe it's the weather.
What about in LA? Do you think people are nice in LA?
Yeah, people seem pretty nice so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe it has to do with the weather. It's probably a warm weather kind of thing. I mean, I'm wearing shorts right now, but it's pretty warm. You get out, it's a little cold, but like, I think that, I mean, I like the Bay Area for some things. The scenery is amazing. The people are so weird looking. Because, I mean, the gays there are much different. There aren't any real gay. They're not queenie gays. They're, like, really butch. And there's all these, the facial hair there is big. Mm-hmm. So there's all these crazy looking beards, and there's, like, payas on people, and people have, like, mutton chops, and I saw some guy with like a handlebar mustache wearing a whole like kilt get up and walking down to Castro. It was great. It was just, I like it a lot in certain ways. And I went to Twitter headquarters. That was cool.
Is it difficult for you that there's not much Torah in the San Francisco Bay Area?
No, that's actually what I like. Actually, we didn't talk about this before, but my whole thing is that I like communities with a lack of Jewish resources because I tend to cleave more to the Lord without Jews really like throwing things at me and forcing you to do anything. It's also a basic psychology of being needed. When you go to shul and there's no minyan and they need you, it feels good. Yeah. Although I hate when they call you up, they're like, we need you. You get there and there's 5 other people there who showed up before you. That's putting a stumbling block in front of your fellow Jew. But I really like the lack of, I actually, it's too big for me. I thought there was going to be less Jews, and I actually thought there was going to be more. There's 600,000 Jews in the Bay Area.
Very assimilated.
Very assimilated. And very anti-Israel, a lot of them, too.
Yeah.
But it's a little more conservative than I thought it would be. I thought it would be a bunch of hippy-dippies, and it's not. So it's very, like, intellectual, a lot of people from, like, wealthy family kind of stuff. Kids my age that are obviously from wealthy families because they're doing a master's degree and they're living in a $3,000 a month apartment. I don't know how they're doing it, so I figure, but in San Francisco itself, I really like the Jews there. I like the Jews all around, but I like them in San Francisco itself.
How long have you been in California?
Only since right before Christmas.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've been here before, but...
Wait, for 2 months?
No, I wasn't. I've been here now for 2 months, yeah.
Okay. And how long do you plan to stay in California?
I plan on staying till about June, but I don't know. It depends what happens, It kind of, I really, like, my number one goal out here was to mountain bike and network with people. And I'm doing that right now with you, and I'm, coming to Jewlicious, and I did a show, and I went to Twitter, and I've been meeting more and more people in my field, and getting more people interested in what I'm doing and trying to figure out what exactly I'm doing, because I want to try and make money from it. Yeah. And that's always the goal. And but not a lot of money. I just just pay my salary, maybe an editor, and that's about it. So
how did you come to start doing stand-up, and how have you found that experience?
I basically, and I've not even really been to a real stand-up comedy show at all ever. Still, I've been to little ones, But someone just encouraged me and said, you know, why don't you film yourself and put it on YouTube and ranting about what you're writing about? Because you always rant.
Right.
Because I was always sit at Shabbos tables, and then someone recommended that. I said, oh, yeah, why don't I do that? And I had this little digital camera that I still have, and I'm just filming myself, and people are looking at it. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And so, you know, someone saw that and said, you know, we're having this open mic. Shem Speed Records was having an open mic. And I said, oh, I'll come and rant about something, and people really liked it. And the next time they had one, they had me host. It's like, oh, maybe I'll do a show. And then someone invited me to open up for this guy, David Kolumnik from Israel came. He invited me to open up. And I did this like 12-minute show, and then everyone was like, hey, can you go on instead of him? You know, it was really a lot of fun. I was like, I never had such a high. That 12 minutes, I was like, oh my God, this is what I need to be doing. It's flipping out. And from there, I mean, I'm not really a club comic. I think I'm very niche. I'm doing material for like mostly Orthodox Jews.
Right.
And the problem within the Orthodox community with me is that the secular Jews are like, okay, man, he's too right-wing for us. And the Orthodox Jews are like, he's too left-wing for us. So I'm on this cusp, and no one really knows where to place me, you know?
Right.
So there's been a lot of like issues. So I know that my biggest audience in New Jersey is from Lakewood. But those people probably won't publicly admit that they read me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'll get emails, but don't tell anyone I read you,
Right.
or whatever. So it might be like in your case, probably.
Yeah.
You know, don't tell anyone, you know, like I like your stuff, but, you know,